Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Monetizing digital services since 2004. Boosting the entertainment industry by making digital content accessible for everyone. AWG. Where innovation meets monetization.
There's an old barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake.
Okay, this is We Should Be Better at This. I have to poop.
You have to poop?
I should have done that before
I was
going
to
to
say, did you get clogged up there when you're trying to talk?
I just felt a movement.
Oh, you're prairie dogging.
No.
This is We Should Be Better at This movie edition. This is one of our special episodes where we talk about those movies that you love, whether they're from the 80s or the 90s. And you know what I just realized?
Yeah.
We keep picking movies that are always coming up on TV, like on TNT
this
or whatever. Like, we should just rename the segment like movies that come up on TNT and TBS.
We might get a cease and desist if we did that.
So today's movie is the baseball classic Major League. Came out in 1989. So the plot of the movie, the new owner of the Cleveland Indians.
There's a plot?
There is a plot. The new owner of the Cleveland Indians puts together a purposely horrible team so that they lose and she can move the team. Typical woman. But when the plot is uncovered, they start winning just to spite her.
Yes, and they have that really cool
the cutout. Okay, I've always wanted to do that as a boss, but you can't do it in today's workforce. But I would say, like, here's
Why not, Eric?
I don't know.
You make somebody laugh.
Well, I would look them directly in the eyes and smile.
Okay, well,
and
why
that
would
right
you do
there
that
is that's inappropriate.
That's totally
inappropriate. But like, you put up your competitor, right? Like, if it's like a competing company, you say, "This is the leader of the competing company." They don't think we could do it, and have it do the same kind of concept. Because all the people I work with are all millennials.
Awesome.
They've never seen Major League. They're all millennials. They don't know. They'll think it's like an original idea, and they're like, "This Eric guy's clever."
That's all the world is, recycling ideas. Ask Puff Daddy. He's made billions.
Yes. I believe he's called, no, not P. Diddy anymore. He's
Jerry Lozex.
No.
What's the name of the guy that does all the Fast and Furious movies?
Paul
Walker? No, producer. Is it Bruckheimer? Anyway, whoever came up with Fast and Furious, man, they're bleeding that rock dry.
Yeah, big time. Well, I think they're releasing like part 27 now.
Hobbs and Shaw, which actually looks really fucking good.
It actually does look kind of good.
Anyway,
so,
back to the movie at hand.
Did you know that I have, completely off topic, did you know that I have never seen a full Fast and the Furious movie?
And you lived in Orange County.
I know.
Wow.
I've never seen the first one. I watched 50% of, and I think part 2 or 3 I watched like 50% of, and I've never seen any of the other movies.
They're the same movie
over and over and over again.
Yeah, but they just blow up things in a different way. They do pull some pretty goddamn cool stunts.
Oh wait, but what about that one movie that has the car doing that cool turn? Oh wait, that's every movie.
Yeah, that.
Tokyo
Drift.
What
that's
about
number
the
3 with nobody in it that you know?
What about the one where the cars go really fast though?
That's the 4th one. It's called 2424.
Okay, now, but wait, what about the one where they're like having a race, but it's like this person has a faster car, and the only way you could win is by being a better driver?
Furious 7.
Okay, now, but wait, what about the one where in order to win the race, you have to do something that's kind of unorthodox?
That's Fate 8.
Okay, now what about the one where they kind of get along, but not quite, and they all have really big personalities?
That's Freaky Friday.
Okay.
You were close on that one, though.
So the movie Major League has some stars in it. Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen,
I met Tom
Corbin
Berenger.
Burnson.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was super nice.
He has like a scar face.
He does. He was in Platoon.
Yeah, he was in Platoon. Both him and Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen was in there too. You're right.
Renee Russo, who in my opinion is good in everything she does.
Especially Lethal Weapon 3.
I love Lethal Weapon 3. Wesley Snipes and other people's. Dennis Haysbert, you know him as the guy who does Allstate.
Yeah, Allstate. You're in good hands.
You're in good hands. So
he's Joe Boo.
He is Joe Boo.
He's Serrano.
So this movie, I bet
Amazing.
you when they were making this movie, there's no way they thought this was going to be a hit.
No, and did you play baseball or anything growing up?
100%.
Yeah, so this movie was like the Bible.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we watched this.
Quoting it when you're out there playing, you're quoting the movie.
Hey, Joe Boo. Or hey, bartender, Joe Boo.
Dude needs a refill. Yeah.
People in the bar looking at us. I love this movie. This movie's so good because that old guy, I don't know his name, But he's been in so many 80s movies. You know who he is. You're like, hey, that's good. That was a good casting.
And I like that they really try and incorporated the comedy that would take place when you get a group of guys together for an entire season.
Yep.
See, a lot of times sports movies try to be too serious. They try to, there's certain movies which are very good. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie 8 Men Out with John Cusack. Good movie, solid movie, very serious, very Field of Dreams, very serious, very whatever, movie. Right? But this one, you put a group of guys together that are a little immature and you shove them in a locker room for 9 months together out of the year.
Yeah.
There's going to be fart jokes. There's going to be things happening.
Plus this group of people that aren't supposed to be there.
Yeah. So I think that was one thing that the movie did that really rang true was it's going to be funny. It's going to be people infighting. Yeah. It's going to be, and I think that not only made it a better movie, but it also made it ring a little bit more true because you're thinking like, okay, yeah, they don't all get along.
Yep.
There is inner fighting going on between them.
Hazing for the rookies, like when Wesley Snipes was taken out in his entire bed.
Yes,
and he wakes up in his pajamas.
But the best part is he wakes up and he runs and he beats in the 100-meter dash or whatever it was in his bare feet. And I like how afterwards the coach get that man a uniform.
Yeah, exactly. That's a pretty good impression. I
actually did that pretty good.
Get him a uniform.
No. Yeah, what's that guy's name? He's
I don't know. Oldie McOlderson. I don't know.
He's not Oldie McOlderston. He's
his
not
name
Charlie
is,
Sheen.
His name in the movie is Lou Brown.
James Gammon. Gammon.
Yeah, his name is Lou Brown in the movie. But
and he was selling tires. I don't know. I got a lady on a call about some white walls.
Yeah, I like that. How would you like to be the manager of the Cincinnati Reds or Cleveland Indians? Wow. I know.
Where are you?
Hey, I had a little bourbon. Cleveland Indians.
I don't know. I got some stuff going on here.
Like what?
Got a woman with some white wall tires that's waiting to pay, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Tire World.
Oh, look. This is Charlie Donovan with the Cleveland Indians. How would you like to manage the Indians this year?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? This is a chance to manage in the big leagues.
Let me think it over, will you, Charlie? I got a guy on the other line about some white walls. I'll talk to you later.
The other thing is this was a one of those movies that, and a lot of people have kind of stolen this kind of concept since then. But I love that they kept cutting away to people who had nothing to do with the movie, nothing to do with the plot, but it was just fans that were regular fans that they kept cutting away to get little jokes, to get little insights. So people at the bar, the four guys that would bang the drum out in the outfield that would make fun of them, the Asian grounds crew that would be like, they're still shitty.
That's one of my favorites because they can change the subtitles very easily in a movie on TNT.
So when you watch it on TBS or whatever, it's like they still suck.
Yeah. But in the cutout, they kind of ixnay that whole thing kind of toward the end because they can't show titties.
They can't show
they can't show boobies.
So the other thing was I think and you'll see the same concept happen again in a Christopher Guest movie called Best in Show with Fred Willard. The announcing by Bob Uecker is some of the best parts of the whole movie. His partner Charlie, who doesn't talk or say a damn thing like the entire movie, basically, except for like once.
Take over, Charlie. I'm done. He's drunk by inning 2. Ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. Vaughn has walked the bases loaded.
Ball 4, ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
Just a bit outside.
Tried the corner and missed.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Most of Bob Uecker's, so just like with Best in Show. Have you ever seen that movie, by the way, Best in Show?
Yeah, but I was really drunk.
Okay. Most of the catchphrases and all that were made up on the spot. So they told Bob Uecker to just improvise.
Go with it, right?
And just kind of improvise. So a lot of that, in fact, the whole concept of just a bit outside, that was made up on the spot.
It's so classic.
Or when he like hits the guy and the ball's like a mile outside, he goes, I don't know what the umpire didn't see on that one. That was clearly a strike. The ball goes all the way to the backstop.
Holy shit, the Indians win the pennant. The Indians win the pennant. I like the guys in the drums. That's one of my favorites because remember that it's like...
Right. It is gone off the reservation. A grand slam home run for Hayward. If I could strike it again.
Too high? What does that mean, too high?
Right.
Not too high. Too hard. Right?
First it was really high. Who gives a shit? It's gone.
It's like, whew. you see the ball get hit, you hear it, and they go, too high, too high. Too high? What the hell does that mean?
What does too high mean? Because of the angle.
Yeah, who gives a shit? It's gone.
The scene where Harry Doyle, which is the Bob Uecker character, dabs some Jack Daniels behind his ear because like that he would wear it as a cologne. Like so, he pours some Jack Daniels in his glass and he puts some on like cologne.
He does it so he doesn't smell like a drunk.
Okay. So to this day, that's actually something I do. I'll joke with my wife, and we'll be somewhere, and I'll be like, "Hold on, I gotta freshen up." And I'll do a little bit of that. I'll put some cologne on. That. And so to this day, I still do that. And maybe it's a callback to Major League. But yeah, he's drinking and he's like,
I know he's drinking. He's like, I do that every day, and I call back to Bob Uecker.
Yeah, he's all, I got to freshen up. And so he puts some on like cologne, which I think
I'm almost out of cologne, so I'm going to have to buy some Jameson. That movie is so good. Like I said, it was the Bible. And I'm going to get off topic just a little bit, but they made a second and third one.
Yes.
And the second one.
Did you know?
What?
They've announced Charlie Sheen is trying to film. So the third one's technically called Back in the Minors, which was not made by the same people or whatever. So they don't consider that a part 3.
No, but
They have announced that Charlie Sheen is putting together the funding to do Major League 3.
Oh my God!
Yes,
is he going to be the manager?
I'm hoping he would. There's no way he could still be the player.
I'm looking on his IMDb right now to see if anything's in the works. No.
Did you also know, this is a fun little factoid too, Charlie Sheen admitted in a Sports Illustrated column that he actually took steroids to prepare for the role because he wanted to be able to throw the ball a little harder, a little faster. They also set up the pitcher's mound 10 feet closer so that his pitches would look faster. Because remember, in the movie, he's supposed to be throwing 100.
Yeah, he's not throwing
they said he really would top out at 85, which, by the way, if you've never played baseball, if you could throw consistently 85, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They said he topped out at 85, but by moving the mound 10 feet closer, the ball just looked like it went 100.
Yeah, giving him a little bit closer a distance with the amount of cocaine he had.
Yes,
that was the fastest ball I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it when the coaches are standing there and he's on the mound. It's his first try and his sleeves are gone, and he's like, "All right, show me what you got." And the ball zooms right between their faces, and hits the no pepper sign right in the background, and they're like, "What you got? 101. We gotta teach this kid some control."
All right, Vaughn, they tell us you're a pitcher. You're sure not much of a dresser. We wear caps and sleeves at this level, son. Understood? All right, let's see what you can do. Nice velocity.
Sounded like it. Jesus.
How much?
96.
Better teach this kid some control before he kills somebody.
The other thing that was great about it is the character of Jobu, where how he literally cannot hit a curveball, but if anyone throws him a fastball, he crushes it
forever. Yeah, that's Serrano.
Yes, Serrano.
Jesus, this guy hits a ton. How come nobody else picked up on him?
Okay, Eddie, that's enough fastballs. Throw him some breaking balls.
Hey! Oh.
Well before he was famous. I mean, this is one of his earliest movie roles too.
Yeah. There's Corbin Burnson's in it.
Corbin Burnson, that character is actually one of my favorite characters in the movie because I thought that one is another one that really rang true as a storyline. You have the third baseman who's just trying to get another contract. He's rich. He invests his money. He's not going to dive in the dirt. He's not going to go all out for a ball. He's not going to hurt himself. Yep. And he's obviously giving up on some plays, and they call him out on it.
Yep.
And the catcher, Tom Berenger, comes out and says, don't worry about it. There's no way. He's a professional. He would never do that. But then he visits the guy at his house and says, if you ever pull that shit again.
You were really great once. If you want to be an interior decorator now, that's none of my business. But some of us still need this team. Now, you listen to me. This is my last shot at a winner. And for the younger guys, it could be their only shot. I don't know what happened to you, but if you ever tank another play like you did today, I'm gonna cut your nuts off and stuff them down your fucking throat.
Coffee, anybody?
And then to make things even better, the wife goes and sleeps with Charlie Sheen's character, Ricky Vaughn, to get back at Corbin Burnson's character.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so funny because when she leaves the house that they're staying in, which Charlie Sheen's staying with Tom Berenger.
Yeah.
So when she leaves, she's like, "Hey, later, guy," or it was a later, Jake, and she walked out, and Jake knows who he was,
and the look on his face of like, oh shit,
yeah, like, oh man, and then he goes in, looks in the room, and you see Charlie Sheen's face. It's like,
I didn't know who she was.
I didn't know. I swear.
Yeah, that's every man's dream is to have a woman that looks that good walk up to you in a bar and literally just say, "Let's go do it." Like that was literally what she did. She walked up in a bar and just said, "Let's go."
I've done that before.
Yeah,
doesn't work.
It doesn't work though.
No.
But Chris,
Guys are creepy.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be doing that.
But the funniest, then literally almost after that scene is when they're like, Tom Berenger, which is Jake Taylor, he's the captain for the team because he's the old catcher, been holding the team together, all the good stuff. But when he walks in, it's Wesley Snipes going, "Yeah, no, Serrano wants to sacrifice a live chicken in the locker room. He says it's good luck before the game."
Yeah.
And he goes, "We can't have people throwing up in here, man. Like, what the hell?" And he goes, "Order him some KFC."
And so they have a bucket of chicken. A problem I have with the movie is the pitcher, the old man. God, I can't remember what his name is in the movie. The old man pitcher, the one who pisses in Joe Boo's drink.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now.
He has the most unconvincing pitch in sports movie history. He looks like he's throwing a softball. Like my daughter has a more powerful pitching motion than this guy does. And I'm thinking to myself, they couldn't train him any better to throw a pitch.
I think they were trying to make him look super old for the role because they were trying to compare him to Charlie Sheen's character of what the hell is his name? Wild Thing. Wild Thing, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to pull him up. That's not him, but I can't remember his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. It's just not loading for me because I'm using my phone's Wi-Fi. And I can afford Duke, Steve Yeager. No, that's not him. Anyway, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I always thought that was kind of like a funny kind of timeline because he didn't like the rookie that had his superstitions.
Yeah,
he still had
his superstitions. There was a scene that was in the commercials for the movie, but was not in the movie itself. And so in the commercial for the movie, when it was like being previewed in theaters, there was a scene in which Ricky Vaughn, Jake Taylor, and Willie Mays Hayes are in a restaurant, and they're discussing a home run that Ricky Vaughn gave up to a batter. And Jake says to Ricky, that ball wouldn't have gone out of a lot of parks. And Ricky says, "Name one," and Jake pauses and says, Yellowstone.
That ball wouldn't have been out of a lot of parks.
Name one.
Yellowstone.
So they liked that joke so much that they actually put it in the part 2.
Oh, did they?
But it was actually filmed in part 1, and they for some reason cut it. But everyone said that's the funniest joke in the whole movie. You got to keep that in.
Why would they cut that?
Yeah, that's a great
line.
Such a
great joke.
Yeah, there's not many parks. Hold on. Yeah, what about Yellowstone?
Yeah, right. Zion. That's really good. Go ahead.
The home games are actually filmed not in Cleveland, which is odd. You get this big.
It was
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
So they filmed it in Milwaukee Stadium. They filmed a couple things at Angel Stadium. But I just thought it was odd that you're doing this big, essentially PR thing for the Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Indians didn't give you permission to film in their ballpark, which seems odd.
Which is really odd because,
by the way, nowadays when I think Cleveland Indians, I immediately think Major League.
Yeah, no, and they are hand in hand. But it was also before you were like movies would actually use the names. Like you had like Last Boy Scout who made up all the football names, and like all those other movies that made up all the names. This was one of the first movies where the Cleveland Indians are a real fucking team, and that's the team that's in the movie.
I'm really glad that they did it with real teams and didn't try to like make up, the Houston Bombers and whatever. Yeah,
that's so annoying.
Which it's such a distraction when you're watching a movie.
Stallions.
Yeah, or what's the one with? It was LA. The one where it was Keanu. What's a Keanu Reeves one movie? The Replacements or something like that.
Oh yeah, The Replacements.
Or
were they in prison?
Yeah, no. The Replacements is where they were like.
Oh yeah, he was the quarterback,
scrubs.
And they were.
But it's always like it's the L.A. Tide or something like that. It's always some made up name. So, but I think that takes you out of the movie because anyone who knows anything about sports is like, okay, I'm already out of this this realm that you've put me in because I know it's fake.
Yeah, no. Every time I heard L.A. Stallions and Last Boy Scout, I was like, that's not real. Could be. But
Keanu Reeves was a part of the Wild Stallions.
He was, and he's having.
That's another movie we should do. Soon. We should do a Bill and Ted's.
Yeah, and then what we do is we do both of those 2 weeks leading up to the release of the movie.
Yeah,
I'll hit up the producers of the movie who I know and see if we can get on the red carpet.
Red carpet?
That'd be dope.
I only want carpets that are neutral colors.
Well, why?
I don't know.
Because you don't want to make people laugh and just look at their eyes?
Yeah, if I look at people's eyes and you make smile and contact with them, you're flirting, and that's inappropriate.
Well, where was the contact?
Just eye-to-eye contact.
Oh, you mean you didn't touch them at all?
No, but
you're being sexually harassed.
That's a very sexually harassing thing to do.
To make people laugh and look at their face.
Yeah.
Where are you supposed to look?
I honestly, from now on, I'm looking straight at tits and ass.
I would go into your phone.
Yeah.
And put tits and ass on there.
Just
Probably
put it in there.
look away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I should do.
Put on one of those shows that people watch with their wife not around. I don't know what to call them.
One of my favorite lines in the whole movie, and I would use this as an insult when I would play baseball.
Okay.
Is that the player for the New York Yankees comes up, I think his name's Haywood or something, the big home run hitter, and he comes up and he's knocking the dirt off and he goes, "Hey, how's your wife or how's my wife
How's your wife and my kids?
How's your wife and my kids?" Yeah. That's such a good line.
And then he keeps talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, but why was he on the bar with her panties on his head?" And he pops it up.
He pops it up.
Oh, Rexy, you don't think this one's got the distance?
So,
I've never seen this movie.
No, never have. Do you think that this movie should have been made into a sequel? Because this is definitely a movie where the sequels are pretty disappointing.
Yes, I do believe it should have been made into a sequel.
But a better sequel?
Yes, and you don't recast Willie Mays Hayes with Omar Epps.
Omar Epps. You got to have Wesley
Just make
Snipes
a new
back in there.
character.
Yeah, or pay the money and get Wesley back.
Yeah, or
I heard
say he died.
I heard in researching for this that we were doing. Yes, I actually put in some work on this. That Wesley Snipes was the worst of the bunch as far as from athletic ability. That he could not throw it. So if you notice in the movie, there is no scenes of him throwing a baseball.
Just
they said
running
he
and sliding.
literally could not throw a baseball.
But he's Taekwondo and shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
They said he was the most just unathletic person on the entire field.
Really?
They said Charlie Sheen was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
I also heard that the character who plays Jobu Serrano.
Yeah.
Serrano. That played Serrano. He actually in real life when they were filming hit a home run out of over the fence and
Really?
everything. So they said he had good power. And Charlie Sheen was good.
Well.
Everyone else was kind of average, but they said Wesley Snipes, when they had plans on him, the character having a rocket arm, he was supposed to be fast and whatever. They said when they tried him out throwing, he threw like such a girl that that they literally decided to change the plans and only film him running and like jumping and stuff like that because he couldn't do anything else. Which is funny because then later on he makes a movie called White Men Can't Jump where he's very athletic.
Yeah, he's super athletic, so he was overcompensating.
Maybe he just couldn't throw a baseball.
I've met some. It's like book smart. So like you can solve an equation, but you can't walk down the street and buy a drink.
How as an adult male can you not throw a baseball? Shouldn't that be a requirement?
Yeah, no, it should be. Yeah.
Every citizenship tips from now on. Welcome to our country. Can you throw a baseball? Anyways, so what else do you remember about this movie?
This movie's great. This was the cult classic. The biggest line was, "Too high, too high." What does that even mean?
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite
I yelled
ones.
that out quite a few times on the baseball field playing when this movie came out, and then it came out in
1989.
Yeah, so it came out before I was in high school, so that's why it was such a big movie for us.
So a couple of just interesting stuff about this thing. You can kind of comment on some of these. As we mentioned, it was mostly shot in Milwaukee. Yep. And the guy who wrote it was actually a big Cleveland Indians fan growing up, which is why he wrote the movie about the Cleveland Indians.
Okay. Good write. Good script. Fun.
Yeah, he really did. We also talked about Bob Uecker doing a lot of the improvising. And what was funny was, I guess he didn't have much time to film his part. So a lot of his stuff was 1 or 2 takes, which I think is also phenomenal because it really gives. Because think about it, a baseball announcer is doing everything on 1 take.
Oh yeah.
So I think it gave it more authenticity.
It did. And I was actually thinking when you were talking about it earlier that he probably was only on set for 1 day and never saw anybody else from the movie. It was just him and that one guy.
Yeah.
That was it, and a few extras in the background.
Yeah.
He wasn't there during any of the stuff.
So Ward,
he had to fake it all.
Ward, who was the name of the director, said he actively encouraged Uecker to make up his lines on the spot. He said. I want you to be Harry Doyle, say whatever comes to your head. And before cameras would roll, he would just give him like a general direction about what the topic was supposed to be about, and then just say, talk, And Bob Uecker is an announcer. He was an announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers for a long time. So he had that experience, which I think is another thing that lent authenticity to the role.
Yeah,
was
great.
that he wasn't an actor trying to pretend he knew baseball.
No.
He was a guy who knew baseball.
He's a lot like the drill sergeant from
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, where he was there.
Arlie Ermey.
It's like he just was that person. So it was really easy for him to do that. He actually, obviously he was there to train them, but then they were like, yeah, they suck. Go ahead and do it.
So they also sent all the actors to like essentially a baseball boot camp.
Wow.
So while Tom Berenger played baseball in high school, so had Corbin Burnson and Charlie Sheen we knew was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Everyone else was not that good, so they sent him actually to the University of Kansas to have the head coach of the Kansas baseball team kind of essentially show them how to play.
Wow.
Which, by the way, this is some of the reasons why I want to be an actor. Like some of these things where it's like, okay, you're making this movie about martial arts, so we're going to send you to a thing. You're going to be a fully trained black belt in like 3 weeks.
A little bit more time, but yeah, I know what you're saying. But they also are like, okay, so you're going to be in this movie. It's an action movie. You got to be a little bit ripped. So this trainer is going to cook for you and give you lessons twice a day from here to here. And that's all you got to do for the next 4 months.
Oh, and by the way, we're going to pay you lots of money to do this.
Yeah, and by the way, millions. Yeah. So look hot, do your thing. Here's a lot of money. We'll be over here waiting for you to get there.
So Wesley Snipes turned down a major role in the Spike Lee movie Do the Right Thing to play this major league role.
I think it was a good choice.
It was, but Do the Right Thing is more critically acclaimed and all that.
Correct.
And it would have been a bigger role. But this one's, I think, more memorable.
Most people remember, no, I shouldn't say most
Totally.
people, it's usually Blade, but most people are like, Wesley Snipes' first movie. Major League.
Yeah, Major League. Right.
Yeah.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah.
I bought 100 of these gloves, and I'm going to tack them up for every base I steal.
When I catch like Hayes and I run like Mays or something like that, and he goes, but you hit like shit.
Hey, that was literally me when I played ball.
Really?
I was amazing at defense. I was really good on the bases, and I just couldn't hit a lick.
Really?
I mean, I shouldn't say I couldn't hit a lick, but I was not the 330 batting average guy. I was the 230 batting average guy, but then I'd steal second, steal third, and then score on a pop-up.
I was the 405 batting guy that hit a lot of singles and doubles.
Yeah.
So then I could jog in when the guy, because I bet ninth. Yeah. Highest batting average on the team, batting ninth.
Yeah.
So then I would get on base, and then they would just hit after me, and I just get to jog.
My arm was so good. The coaches used to tell me to bobble the ball or to drop the ball because we wanted the runner to try and take an extra base.
Really?
Because I had just such a cannon for
Where'd
an
you
arm.
play?
I played catcher and outfield, mainly outfield. They would put me at catcher because they wanted guys to try and steal on me because I would throw them out. I just had a cannon for an arm.
Plus you talk shit.
And I would love to talk shit to these guys. But the problem was I would also talk shit to the umpires. So they quickly took me away from the catchers.
They're like, just don't talk. Go as far as you can away from people that matter. Outfield, go to the outfield.
So during the shoot, I'd mentioned this that he hit a home run, but Dennis Haysbert proved to be actually a pretty talented ball player. The script called for him to hit a home run. He could actually do it. And what's funny is they also said it made directing the movie really easy because he couldn't hit a curveball in real life, but if he threw the ball straight, he could crush it. So the whole character thing of like, you can't hit a curveball, they didn't have to do any like takes or acting. He literally couldn't hit a curveball.
They just wrote
so they would
that's
say,
awesome.
and then they would say, okay, we're going to throw you a fastball. So now hit a home run, and he really could just like crush the ball.
Kill the ball. He's a big dude. He's a big dude.
So did you know that they filmed an alternative version of this movie?
No.
Where Rachel Phelps, who plays the the owner, the one who they strip off the stuff, she, at the end, and think of how shitty this would have made the movie. They had her reveal that she really did love the team. She was just doing this to motivate them, and she knew that they would all get together if they hated her and stuff like that. And so her at the end was like the not the villain, it was the, well, guys, you did exactly what I wanted you to do.
She was the player. She played them.
Yeah. She played them, and they said they did a test screening of it, and people hated it.
Oh, yeah.
So they went back and said, film some more scenes where you're more of a bitch because the people liked it more when you were the bitchy character.
Wow.
So it's funny. Think of how different that movie would have been.
Yeah,
the movie's so much more enjoyable because you hate her and you want her to lose and you want them to beat it. Imagine if they wouldn't have reshot some of those scenes. I think that would have changed everything.
In the second movie, she comes back in the second movie. Coming back, she buys the team back from Corbin Burns and Roger Dorn. So if she would have bought it back, or if she would have ended that way, she couldn't really be in the second one because she'd already be she'd be like a fan of them now and love them.
Yeah.
It
would have ruined everything.
Yeah.
Another one that was really interesting, and I didn't know this, but Major League is credited with kind of kicking off the musical trend in baseball when it comes to everyone having their own entrance music. So since the release of it in 1989, it's given rise to kind of the modern trend of these MLB closers coming in and having a theme song being played. Relief pitcher Mitch Williams, who called himself Wild Thing, kind of pissed off Charlie Sheen because then he also had that music when he would come in. He literally just copied the whole character.
Yeah.
But before that, before 1989, closers didn't have theme music when they came in, and now they all do. They say that kind of is credited to Major League.
Well, yeah, no, that was the very pinnacle of the movie, the very end where he comes in the end. Everybody's going crazy, Wild Thing songs.
I hate this fucking song.
In 2016, members of the Cleveland Indians actually set up a Jobu shrine in the clubhouse. So that was when they were trying to meet the playoffs, and they all joked that they need to get some good voodoo going. So they actually sent up a shrine to Jobu in the clubhouse, that's awesome.
so
but that
cool.
goes to show you why this is such a great movie, though.
Because it's a Colts, it's a way of life for baseball players. I remember playing baseball, and that was the Bible, like I said.
So let me ask you this: if you were to make this movie better,
yes,
what would you do to make this movie better? I think we both agree that this is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It's a rewatchable movie.
It is.
But what would you do to make them? What would you do to improve the movie?
I thought the love story was not necessarily
It was
Rene Russo and Tom
It was
Berenger.
necessary because I think you need that in the movie, but it wasn't as well played out.
Yeah, we could have seen Rene Russo a little bit naked. That would have been nice.
Something that always bothered me about it.
Sorry, wife.
The movie ends with them just winning the pennant.
Yeah, because the next one's them winning the league.
Yeah, but the next one doesn't take place that same year. It takes
No.
place the next year.
Yeah, it's the following
So
year.
what? They don't show them losing the World Series or whatever?
It shows them, they don't win.
So that was something that was
Wait,
disappointing
pennant
me.
is their conference, I thought.
Yeah.
AL West.
No, remember that was before divisions.
Oh.
So that was they just won the American League, meaning they would go to the World
They would
Series.
go to the World Series, okay.
So, but I thought that was a very unsatisfying ending because they won the pennant. I thought a satisfying ending would have been they win the pennant, they overcome this, they get to the World Series and lose like they always do, and it's kind of one of those like unhappy endings, but that's more satisfying as a movie ending.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for a sports movie ending,
like,
because you feel like you've accomplished so much, but yet you lost, but you didn't really lose. You still won.
You
You're
still
there.
won because look what you guys overcame. But I just thought it was weird that it's like, okay, the movie's over. Well, what happened in the World Series? Obviously, they didn't win
I
it,
know,
but
they
you don't
didn't
even
say-
show that. You don't even address it. You don't even have a little thing after the credits that say, and they went to the World Series and lost
there
in
was
4
no
games.
ends.
They were swept and they got crushed.
There's
or
no
something.
end credit scene in Major League. That's your complaint.
Ricky Vaughn gave up 9 home runs in the World Series and everyone sucked. Like
to the same guy.
Yeah.
No, it was a good movie. I mean, it can't. It teetered on slapstick, but it also was very genuine about baseball. Like if baseball players watched it, you're like, they
you
had
could
trained.
tell that the people who made the movie loved baseball.
Yeah, because they didn't have the rinky-dink. Just let's pretend you're gonna catch it. It was like legit. You watched them play, and you're like, oh yeah, they turned the double play. Good job.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, good turn. So this is, as we said, a movie that comes out frequently.
TNT, TBS,
TNT, TBS,
AMC, TN. I don't know. You name them. It's probably on there.
What would you say if you were going to?
What would you say? I don't know. What Jews do you know?
What would you say? What would you say the Rotten Tomatoes score is?
Oh, we're making a
for
vote
Major League.
Oh, I would say Rotten Tomatoes is driven by fans, right?
Well, there's critics and fans, and I'm going to tell you, this one is a rare case where the critics and the fans have the exact same score.
Really? So I would say it's probably 70s.
I would have guessed that too. I would have said probably like early to mid 70s.
60s, 70s.
But here's what I like about this. They were smart. This movie is what it is, right?
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be Schindler's List. It's also not supposed to be freaking Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Or Naked Gun.
Or Naked Gun.
Yeah.
This was what it was supposed to be. They did a good job. Critics and audiences both have this. This is an 84%.
That's good.
Which I say is right on, because I look at this movie and I'm like, it's enjoyable and I want to watch it, which that's the very definition of what a movie should be.
Exactly. When this movie came out, if you look at the cast back then, there wasn't, and this is not insulting to Tom, Charlie, or any of the people, but there wasn't like one superstar that stood out. They were all good
you're
actors.
right. It really didn't.
Everybody was like equal, it seemed like, in this movie where there wasn't like, I thought Lou Brown, the manager, was like one of the best characters, and he's like 7th build. Yeah. It never felt like there was like, okay, you're the star of this movie. It's just a team. Which I really liked.
She comes in, the owner comes in, and they're all standing around towels and naked and something. And she goes, "Aren't you going to cover yourself in hot?"
I'm a little too old to go diving behind stuff to cover up.
Yeah.
Get to your point.
What do you want? What do you want? I love Lou Brown. He ends up in the hospital.
Yeah.
He's listening on a radio.
Yeah.
He has a
little transistor radio.
Which transistor radio for all you millennials out there? Something that receives radio waves.
There's this thing called the AM band.
It's like your phone, but a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right, well,
anyways, so I would say that if this movie came on, would you watch it?
Yes,
100% of the time.
I will probably watch it tonight.
Yeah, just because
I've been talking about it so much. I made my daughter watch it the other day, who was a big softball fan. She's not playing anymore, but she just ended her last season, and we watched it together. And she's like, And she was like, "This is so funny." And I go, "Well, yeah, because they look like they're actually playing the ball,
and you
like
can tell they're
actually
having fun
into
doing it.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Major League. I would say that I agree with you. This is a classic. This goes down as an enjoyable classic movie that I could watch 10 years from now or 10 minutes from now, and I'm going to be super into it.
Yeah, and you have to watch the TBS version with kids under about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But after that, it's not really that bad. There's just a bunch of
some
cussing.
stuff,
I think you see some boobies. But
Yeah, we made the mistake of we misremembered how Shaun of the Dead was.
Oh.
And we thought it would be clean enough to show our daughters.
Yeah.
We even went on IMDb and looked up the parental advisory where they'll tell you, and it even says on there, there's the occasional 1 or 2 F words dropped.
Oh, it's a lot.
And then we watched it and it was constant F words. And my wife and I are looking at each other like going, well,
who gives a shit?
We
It's
blew
gone.
this one. So we did show Shaun of the Dead to our kids, and I was like, well, that was a mistake.
Well, my wife the other day, and we'll end the show here in a second, so we're rambling, but my wife the other day is like, we should watch Euphoria. It's on HBO. It's a new show. And I'm like, all right, cool, we'll watch it. And then Julene comes out. Julene's my 16-year-old stepdaughter. We're sitting there, and she's like, can I watch this? And Evelyn's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, look at my wife. Are you sure? Yeah, that's fine. She's 16. Okay. Not even 5 minutes in, I'm pausing and going, I ain't watching this with her.
Yeah.
It is sexual as hell.
Yeah.
So if you ever think about watching Euphoria.
Okay, funny.
Don't do that
Another
with
funny
your
one.
kids.
Literally like 2 days ago, we had mentioned how my youngest daughter has never seen the movie Up, the Disney movie. So I told her, why don't you show her the movie Up?
It's the most depressing movie in the world.
Yeah, it is. But my daughter loves dogs, and there's a lot of dogs in that movie. Squirrel. So she calls me at work to tell me that every time she tried to stream, totally legally, of course, the movie Up,
From your hard drive that you've hooked to your computer that you bought from
porn would play.
Wow.
And she couldn't get to the remote fast enough, so she said my 13-year-old was super embarrassed and would turn red, and my youngest had no idea what was going on. But my wife's trying to turn off the TV because she couldn't get it to stop or
It's
anything
like
like
the
that.
Pornhub,
it was whenever you stream, not whenever, but she tried to stream the movie Up,
Really?
and porn would play, and it wouldn't stop.
I bet there's just another movie named Up.
I told her, I said, it's probably still called Up.
You should look for Down.
Yeah. All right, and on that wonderful joke, we are going to leave you. Thank you for rating and reviewing and visiting along with us
Let me
with
see
these
if I
movies
can
of the
find
past.
us. Did I find us? No, I didn't find us. Oh, there we are. Let's see if we have any comments. Wow. Funny, when you type in "we should be better at this" on iTunes, it only shows us.
Yeah.
And one other show. Hey, I have 38 cents on my iTunes account.
Hey,
look at me.
What are we going to buy?
I know. So let me see the reviews. What do we have? We have a couple reviews up here. Thank you all so much for leaving reviews. We have 4 reviews. One from Missionary
position, Chris.
Sure.
It's a basic position.
Pretty good fun, 5 stars. Thank you so much. Great. I love it. This is a podcast by Radiotherapy. He said, good podcast, leave in the background. We talked about this before. Chuck Blazin. Do we read this one
Chuck
yet?
Blazin?
Chuck Blazin. A great listen for your drive home on your drive to work. These guys are pretty funny. Talk about all sorts of things, pop culture, and things that are bugging them. Thank you,
That's
Chuck Blazer.
That's a pretty good synopsis.
Chuck Blazer. He sounds like a Bond villain or something.
I think he sounds like an astronaut.
He does.
Yeah.
He's like Max Power.
Max Power.
All right. We're out.
All right. Talk to you.
ThisIsFunner.com.
ThisIsFunner.com has a lot of great stuff. Listen to it all.
All right.
Bye.
Catch you later.
So a surprise move by Brown here, bringing in the Wild Thing, who's been shelled in 2 outings against the Yankees.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.